Welcome to today's deep dive, where we are looking into some fascinating sources on a German initiative that is doing something pretty unexpected.
Right, it's called Studio S, or Studio S Authentic Media.
Yeah, so picture sitting in a wooden pew, quietly listening to a dense 45-minute spoken word sermon. It's an ephemeral, one-time experience. But now, imagine taking that heavy, hours-long academic lecture and translating it into a slick, swipeable social media carousel, or even a vibrant graphic novel.
Taking something historically meant only to be heard.
Exactly, and engineering it into something to be seen and felt.
And that is exactly the mission of this initiative we're looking at today. Studio S revolves entirely around taking these deeply traditional Sunday messages and, well, giving them a radical digital overhaul.
Their main mechanism for this is something the sources call precise content analysis, where they turn a spoken sermon into narrative slideshows and infographics. But, let's pause and really look at that for a second.
Yeah.
You simply cannot fit an hour of nuanced theological context into a visual catalog. If you're turning a complex spiritual argument into a bite-sized graphic, aren't you just watering down the theology for a quick scroll on social media? Like, what are they actually cutting out to make it fit?
Well, Studio S claims their philosophy completely rejects that idea of dilution. According to the initiative, it's about clarity, not watering things down. The way they do this content analysis isn't by just, grabbing a few inspirational quotes and slapping them on a sunset background.
Or it's not just a generic motivational poster.
Exactly. They strip the sermon down to its core argument. If the 45-minute sermon is about the concept of forgiveness, they extract the logical progression of that argument and map it onto a visual flowchart.
Oh, wow. So you can literally see the underlying structure of the theology.
You can, yeah. The sources note their guiding principles are sermons in pictures and faith as a narrative.
It honestly sounds less like summarizing and more like reverse engineering a building.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Like, they take the finished sermon, break it back down to its original architectural blueprints, and then use those blueprints to build a completely different structure, a digital one.
Right. And the goal, as Studio S outlines it, is to engage the modern mind by providing this visual architecture. They're making the underlying message highly accessible without actually losing the foundational depth.
Okay, but why go through all this architectural trouble? If the message is so important, why not just tell people to show up at the physical church on Sunday at 10 a.m. like they have for centuries?
Because that traditional 10 a.m. slot just clashes entirely with the reality of modern mobile lifestyles. The sources highlight that the younger demographic in particular is under immense time pressure.
Yeah, the 45-minute in-person commitment on a Sunday morning just doesn't really fit a 24/7 on-demand world.
It doesn't. And Studio S is trying to provide that anytime, anywhere flexibility. They push these newly structured messages out via social media and video podcasts.
So they fit naturally into like a 5-second swipe or a daily commute. But does that mean the end goal here is to replace the physical Sunday gathering entirely? Just sit on your couch, scroll through an infographic, and say, well, I went to church today.
What's fascinating here is the sources are very clear that this is positioned as an adaptation rather than a replacement. The aim is to anchor spiritual messages within the digital age.
By targeting young people who otherwise wouldn't intersect with the church at all.
Right, mostly due to their schedules. It's an outreach strategy designed to strengthen a connection that would otherwise be lost, not to just empty the physical pews.
Okay, and to deepen that digital connection, the project leans heavily on one specific format, the interview. Because a traditional sermon is notoriously a one-way street, right? One person speaks, everyone else listens.
Yeah, but by transforming that content into an interview format, you completely shift the dynamic. It becomes a multimedial, highly shareable conversation.
Which naturally invites the listener in.
It does. Interviews are actually one of the 5 core formats Studio S utilizes. This two-way dialogue creates a sense of participation that a traditional monologue just lacks. And crucially, all of this media, the interviews, the slideshows, the visual posts, it all flows into a permanent archive.
Which takes an ephemeral live theater performance where if you weren't in the room, you just missed it, and turns it into a searchable documentary that anyone can access forever.
Building a long-term resource is a primary objective mentioned in the sources. This archive isn't just content to feed today's algorithm.
Right.
It serves an ongoing purpose for religious education, community work, and even research. It gives the spoken word a real digital permanence.
So bringing this all together for you listening, Studio S is taking fleeting spoken word traditions, reverse engineering their blueprints, and constructing them into permanent, highly shareable digital art and conversation.
It demonstrates how ancient, institution-based communication can theoretically deconstruct itself to survive in a mobile-first environment.
And it leaves you with something to really mull over today. If a centuries-old tradition like the Sunday sermon can be successfully dismantled into modern infographics and mobile interviews, what other traditional institution-based communications in your own life are desperately overdue for a digital media makeover? Are there heavy, hours-long meetings or lectures in your world just waiting to become a graphic novel?